Hi everyone, welcome to EduPark. In last video, we have discussed major inventions and how these major inventions affected the different fields of industry. We know that we are discussing history first chapter, a period of transition. We have to start our class with the new topic, that is the impact of industrial revolution. The industrial revolution brought about many changes in Europe and other parts of the world. Growth of towns and cities is the one of the most important impacts of the Industrial Revolution. Manufacturing was no longer based in the home and family but in the factory as the new machines were too big to fit into people's home. The domestic system of production could not compete with the factory system, and hence those involved in the domestic system had to go and work in the factories. Factories sprang up across the country and new cities sprang up around the factories as the workers had to live somewhere. Earlier, the center of economic life was village, we know that, but the industries as grew, these centers are shifted into the cities. People from village, they were migrated into cities where factories offered employment. Many towns, often called industrial towns like Liverpool, Leeds and Manchester developed. These towns are also known as the boom towns. Another impact is the decline of feudalism and rise of capitalism. The advent of the Industrial Revolution led to the decline of feudalism. With the growth of the industrialization, a new system rose in the place of feudalism. This was known as the capitalism. In this system, the means of production were privately owned and used for profit. We are discussing what is capitalism. So we can say that the capitalism is the system of production were privately owned and used for profit or profit motive. Next impact is the birth of new social classes. Two new social classes arose due to the capitalism. First one is the factory owners. They owned factories and hired workers who were paid on wages. Their main focus is profit making. Second one is the workers. They received wages for their labor in the factories. Their life was full of hardships as they were exploited by the factory owners. Now we have to discuss the emergence of imperialism. The Industrial Revolution increased the productivity in industrialized areas, leading to a demand for more raw materials to keep up with the technological capacities. As a result, countries like Great Britain needed raw materials to keep their factories running and markets for their goods produced by their factories. The improvement in weapons, seaboards, and ships during the Industrial Revolution helped in the political domination of the less developed countries by the European powers. This political domination helped these powers to reach far-flung lands that served as a suppliers of raw materials and markets for their finished goods. Hence, the establishment of colonies by the Europeans in Africa, Asia and America provided support to the Industrial Revolution. Another concept we have to discuss, that is the imperialism. When a nation dominates or controls another land politically and economically, especially by acquiring colonies, that is called imperialism. Friends, we are discussing the imperialism, which means that when a nation dominates or controls another land politically and economically, especially by acquiring colonies, it is called imperialism. This policy gained strength and importance in 19th century mainly due to the Industrial Revolution. The most important force behind the imperialism was the Industrial Revolution. The most important force behind the imperialism was the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution changed Europe from a consumer of manufactured goods to a producer. Now, European factories needed raw materials and markets. Imperialism allowed these powers to attend colonies that provided them with the raw materials for their factories and market for their manufactured goods. This led them to acquire colonies in Asia and Africa. These continents were very weak in military but very rich in natural resources. The beginning of 20th century witnessed the rise of four main imperial powers: Britain, France, Holland and the USA. These four industrial powers brought the whole of the non-industrialized world under their control. Let's see which are the impacts made by the imperialism. The mother country exploited the colonies. The colonies were treated as a place of raw materials and markets for their finished products. The indigenous or local industries of colonies were completely destroyed. For example, the local textile industries of India were replaced with the machine-made cheap textiles that flooded the market. Agriculture was also hit. Colonies were instructed to grow cash crops instead of food crops. In certain colonies, the farmers were forced to grow only those crops specified by the mother country. Cuba became a sugar producing country, and the Indian farmers had no choice but to grow those crops that fetched a high price in the market. This led to the impoverishment of the colonized countries. We are discussing the impacts of imperialism. Market and as the place for their materials. We have seen that the other countries exploited the colonies, they consider these colonies as their markets and the place for their raw materials. The indigenous or local industries were destroyed, and we have seen that the impact in the agriculture field also. Colonies were instructed to grow cash crops instead of food crops. In certain colonies, farmers were forced to grow only those crops specified by the mother country. Hi friends, now we have completed first chapter history. I hope all are understood this class. If you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Thank you for your watching.